Here's how to make a crazy rage beat on FL Studio. Let's jump straight in. We're going to start by going up here and changing our tempo to around 150 BPM. This can be anywhere from 140 to 165 BPM. We're then going to go into our piano roll by pressing this button up here. This is where we're going to lay down our first set of chords. We're going to click this channel rack button up here to, of course, load the channel rack. And then we're going to press the plus to add a plugin. In this case, I'm going to be using Serum. We're going to start with some kind of synth preset, but we want to add a low pass filter because we don't want this sounding too bright because we'll need room for vocals. We can then go back into the channel rack and we can right click here and click piano roll so that we can start adding notes using this plugin. Now we want to use a minor scale, so we can go up here and change our view, scale highlighting to minor, and then we can use any root note. In this case, I'm going to use G sharp. All of the lighter tones are the notes inside of the G sharp minor scale, so we can use these, and we can't use these slightly darker tones. We're going to start by laying down some notes inside of this scale. These are the 6 notes I've laid down. We're then going to press Ctrl and C and Ctrl and V to paste these back in, where we can shift these notes up by pressing Shift and the up arrow 7 semitones, which will give us a power chord. If you're wondering what makes a rage beat, it's pretty much these chords. It's like any major or minor chords, which would look like this, but it misses the middle notes, which are called the thirds. We can then add any notes in our scale to form some kind of top line melody. There's really no rules for this. You can add whatever notes you want. Here's how this pattern sounds. Right, now we're going to press Ctrl and left click and drag over this whole section and press Ctrl and C to copy these chords. We can then scroll up and down in here to change patterns. Here we can load up an empty pattern, press the channel rack button, and then press add and choose a plugin again to add another plugin. In this example, we want to use some form of pad preset. A pad sound is just like a synth, but it has a way slower attack time, which means that it takes longer for the notes to get to their full volume or maximum amplitude. Here's how this pad sounds. Now we're going to take the root notes of each of these chords, press Ctrl and C to copy these, and then we're going to go into a new pattern and we're going to add a bass line. This is a really simple bass line. It's just a detuned saw wave that's pitched down 2 octaves. We can then press Ctrl and V to paste these in. Now here's where it gets interesting. We can start adding some really random sounds to make our beat sound more unique. Here I've gone into the channel rack and again loaded up another plugin. In this example, it's Serum again, and I've created this sound. This is going to seem very confusing. It's literally just a saw wave with some frequency modulation, which is modulated by this square wave, but that's not particularly important. What's important is that we're using this formant filter. To explain this really simply, a formant filter makes your sound like it's talking. Then I've added some short notes in using notes in our scale, typically revolving around the root note, which is G sharp, and it sounds like this. And here's how it sounds without the formant filter, so that you can understand what change that's actually making. Now we want to add a lead pattern in. The most important part of the sound design for this is that you're turning on monophonic mode, which means that only one note can play at a time, so overlapping notes glide between them. And this portamento time is the time it takes for one note to glide to the other. In this case, we're using a very slow portamento time. Here's how this sounds. And the last part of this melody, which is probably the most important, is that we're going to be using a Grain X4 plugin. The reason we're using this plugin is because it has this dope morph functionality and this glitch mode. Essentially, what's happening here is this morph mode is being modulated by an LFO, a low frequency oscillator, to determine which sample is playing at which time. Basically, it's bouncing between each sample, which gives it this really cool glitchy effect. And we're turning up the attack time, which gives this really cool sound. Sounds kind of strange on its own, but in the context of the track, it adds a ton of life. By the way, this plugin has over 400 different presets and is linked in the description of this video, where it's currently 70% off. Now all that's left to do is try and add some movement to the track. So we're going to add a pluck preset. This just plays the exact same power chords as before, but alternates between the root note and the perfect fifth, which was the second note in the chord, which is pitched up 7 from the root. I'm using this pluck preset from Grain X4, which is one of the multi-samples, as it plays multiple samples at once, giving it a thicker sound. And that is our melody and chords done. Let's move on to our drums and our bass line. We're going to start by going into a new pattern and adding an 808. We can open up our channel rack and we can go to our drums section and we can add in 808s from the browser. In this case, I'm using my Listen Up drum kit. which has drum sounds from all different genres, specifically the trap section where I've got this Spins 808. All you have to do is drag this from the browser into the channel rack. Then all we have to do is take the bass notes from the chords to determine the 808 pattern. You'll notice here there's also a note that's being played by a different sound. This is the Chase the Money 808, and alternating between different 808 sounds is used all the time in Rage. Now that we've got the 808 down, let's layer this with a kick. For this example, I'm using the metal kick, which again is also from my Listen Up drum kit. Then we can add a really simple clap pattern, which hits on the 7th and 3rd beats. A 2-step hi-hat pattern, where we've taken the Pluto closed hat from my drum kit, right-clicked into the piano roll, and we've changed the snap to grid up here to a half step so that we can add faster rolls. Originally, the grid will look like this. You can see that we can't add a note here. So we can change this to add smaller increments to the grid. I've also added lower notes, which is a cool effect used in trap beats. We've then got this snare sound, which plays in between the claps to add bounce to the track. And finally, the Amulet open hat. You might hear that the drums have a slightly clipped, distorted sound to them. Here's how we achieve that. We go to the channel rack and we send all of these to their own individual mixer tracks. We can then press this button up here to go into our mixer. All we do now is go on the master track and we add a fruity soft clipper. Let me explain how this works. Here we have the threshold. This is set to minus 4.4 decibels, which means that anytime the volume of the master track exceeds minus 4.4 decibels, it will round off the waveforms to reduce the volume of them. This is like hard clipping, but hard clipping doesn't round them off. It completely flattens them. And in doing this, it adds higher harmonics in, which sounds like distortion. Not that you needed to know that. Just know that adding a soft clipper to the master track will make it sound distorted if the volume exceeds the threshold, which in this case, you can see it does. The kick on its own exceeds 0 decibels, way above the threshold. Now here's one last super dope trick. You can see in our 808s, there are gaps where we play a new bass line. This is a synth bass line. I've used a preset from Omnisphere, and here's a technique that Benny X, one of Yeat's producers, made pretty famous a few years ago. He might not have been the first person to do it, but as far as I'm concerned, it was one of the first times I heard this technique used. Now, if we load up the mixer track, not too much needs to be done. You'll see that I've boosted a lot of these volumes to get that desired soft clip sound that we spoke about earlier. One other thing that I've done is I've sent all of the melodic elements to their own mixer tracks. I've added an Ozone 11 to my master track, which is just to master the beat to make it sound loud. If you're making beats for artists, I actually wouldn't do this. I just do this because I want it to sound as loud as possible for YouTube. Now for the structuring, we can add things like transitions, which play in between sections to create some kind of impact and tension. I would also add and remove certain elements just to feel like the track is constantly changing and evolving, which means that artists and listeners in general aren't going to get bored of listening to your music. You can also use the slice tool up here to chop out certain sections of the drums, which adds some really cool effects that you'll hear in the final beat. Anyway, after structuring, here's how the final track will sound. I hope you all learned something from this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. By the way, if you want access to Grain X4, make sure to check out the link in the description where it's currently 70% off to only $29.99. All purchases help support the channel, so I appreciate all of you who have downloaded.